Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it is time again to look at what I checked out of the library this month, and I have a few that I have checked out. Most of them I didn't really know anything about when I checked them out, but they just looked interesting, so thought I'd share them. The first one I had heard of. This is Among the 10,000 Things, and this is a book about a woman who finds out basically that her husband has been unfaithful to her when a box of letters shows up at her house and is delivered into the hands of her children. That's all I know about this book, and that's really all I want to know. The premise sounds really interesting and heartbreaking, and like this is going to be one of those books that makes you think and you have opinions on, which is a terrible description, but alright, we're gonna go with it. So the next one is called A Golden Age, and I just saw this one and the cover really appealed to me, and then I picked it up and read the first couple of pages and liked the writing style, so I decided to pick this one up. And this is set in Pakistan against the background of the Bangladesh War of Independence. I know nothing about that time or setting, and so I really don't know much. I know that this is a woman who it seems like may be going through a lot of difficult times and is struggling to keep her family together. I could be off on that, but that's what I got from reading the description and reading the first chapter. But it definitely seemed like something that was a little outside of my comfort zone and very, very interesting. So then I picked up one that really doesn't need to be described, and that is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I was on the hold list for this book for months. This is on my Booktuber Recommends project. Katie from The Book Wanderer recommended this to me, and I went ahead and put myself on the hold list because I knew that it would be a while, because I was just like, I wasn't in the mood to read it at the time, but I knew that eventually I would be, so I might as well get on the hold list, and it finally came up. And I have already started this, and so far I like the writing and I am enjoying it. I hadn't heard anything about this at all as far as like the plot goes. I don't know if I kept avoiding it or I just kept hearing people say it made them cry. I had an idea and I was very, very, very far off from the characters, like what I thought the characters were in this book. I was way off, and then I saw a trailer for the movie on YouTube, and it spoiled me for the plot. Not spoiled me because it doesn't, you know, tell me how it ends, but my imagination knows probably where this is going from watching the trailer and knowing that it makes everybody cry, and the title of the second book. But anyways, I'm gonna read it. I picked it up from the library, yes. And then I picked up a graphic novel just sort of on a whim, and it's called Over Easy, and I have not heard anything about this. I had never seen it. The book cover appealed to me, and I was just looking at the graphic novels, looking for something to pick up. And my library doesn't really have a huge selection of graphic novels, so there wasn't a whole lot that I was interested in. But I saw this one, and I had started to sort of look at what it was about, and then they announced the library was closing in 15 minutes and just to come check out books. So I was like, what? It's check out. If I don't like it, I'll just send it back. If I don't want to read it, I'll just bring it back. So I decided to take it home. It's basically a story about a diner, or it says a fast-paced account of diners, drugs, and California in the 1970s. So far, I've read a few pages of it and it's really interesting. I love the art style. It's just really simple and kind of cartoony, and like it reminds me a lot of Moss by Art Spiegelman. And in the acknowledgments, she actually says, thanks to Art Spiegelman for telling me that I should just do it. So that made me laugh, because I remember looking at this and thinking that reminds me of the style of Moss. And so yeah, it's been very interesting so far, and I think I'm going to like it, so I'm glad that I just picked it up on a whim. Alright, and so this book is a collection of short stories that I just saw on the new releases list. I have never, or on the shelf for new releases, I've never heard of this author, and I definitely had not heard of this collection. I'm actually going to read you part of it because I don't know how to explain this, but it says, hailed as a master of the fantastic, Amber Sparks dazzles with a bewitching breakthrough collection that affirms her singular talent for rendering the apocalyptic and otherworldly hauntingly familiar. With a wild imagination matched only by its intelligence and heart, Sparks' work is weird and wonderful, utterly hypnotic. So, yeah. I like the idea of it because it sounds like it's going to be magical realism-y, sci-fi-y. It just sounds like a really fascinating idea for a short story collection, and it also looks like something that I would fly through. So I picked it up, gonna give it a shot, not heard a thing about it. So I do have a few more holds that are really close to coming up, and if they do come up before the end of the month, I will end up updating that here. Alright, so I did have a couple of holds come in from the library. The first one is the regional office is under attack. I had been on the hold list for this, and I was surprised that I actually came up for it as soon as I did. So hopefully I will get to this before I have to turn it back in. I almost just let it go back to the next person and then got back on the hold list because I wasn't sure if I was going to get to read it. But I took a look at it and the print is fairly large. So I might actually get to this before I have to return it. I don't know what this is about, really. I just remember hearing about it on the Book Riot channel and thinking it sounded really good, but I have no idea what it's about, really, so... and then the last one was the first time I've done interlibrary loan, and it came in this. Yeah, I'm not really sure why, but apparently, I don't know if it was the library it came from or this is just how my library does it, but they pulled out this neon orange bag and brought it to me. And so I thought like, oh, that's just the way that it gets shipped to the library. They'll just give me the book. No. They told me I had to take it home in this and bring it back in this, which is kind of insane. But I will say I won't lose it. So now to what's inside of this crazy bag. So, let me pull this off that has my information on it. Because, you know, it wasn't enough to put my information on the outside of the orange bag twice. They actually put it on this. Ooh, that's not good. They put it on another slip. Okay, so anyways, the other book that I got was Moss Volume 2, so I read the first volume of this during Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and then my library didn't have the second volume, and they didn't have the complete Moss, and so I ended up getting an interlibrary loan because, yes, I don't know how you have the first volume of a 2-volume graphic memoir, and you don't have the second one. So shout out to Aaron, one of my favorite commenters, for telling me to go interlibrary loan and get it, because that worked out really well. So I'm going to probably read this weekend and then send it back. It came from the Nashville library, so that's fun. Anyway, so those are the books that I picked up from the library this month. I don't know that I'm going to do another one of these next month. I might. It just depends. I'm trying to cut down on how many books I bring home from the library because I have books stacking up that I own that I really, really want to get to, and I keep feeling pressured to read the library ones because they have deadlines and they have to go back. And so I need to stop getting on the hold list for things until I'm like actually ready to read them, because there've been a couple instances where I've gotten the holds come up before I was expecting it to, and then I'm not ready to read it and I feel like I have to drop everything I'm doing and read it. So I just need to stop having things like deadlines when it comes to books, because then that makes me not read other things that I want to read, and that's never good. So anyways, and I sound a little nasally because I'm having sinus trouble apparently. I don't know. I've got a sore throat, my nose is sniffly. All of those things. So all of that aside, I've gotten several things that I really enjoyed out from the library this month, and I am really digging the library this year. I'm so glad that I went ahead and got my membership and have really utilized it. So use your local library. It's fantastic. hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I would love to hear what you've checked out from the library this month or what you have on your hold list, even though I don't need to add any more to my hold list. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will see you later. Bye!